After my husband proposed to me in the Maldives, I casually posted the engagement photo to Moments. I didn't expect that right after I posted it, a newcomer in the company group Vivienne Lancaster would publicly mention me. "Isn't this the photo of my husband proposing to me? Why are you stealing my picture?" I was stunned. When did my husband become hers? Before I could reply, Vivienne Lancaster posted a photo in the group. The same photo shows only a ring and a hand. But the ring style on the photo is not only identical, even the mole on my husband's ring finger is in the same spot. "Foster miss, you managed to steal a picture, but you can't steal my life. Mind your own business." I casually added my husband to the group chat. "Honey, who's the homewrecker?" I was staring at Vivienne Lancaster's photo of the diamond ring, and I somehow felt something was off. My husband clearly told me that this diamond ring was a custom design he had made for us, and it was to commemorate our 7-year long-distance love story. But why Vivienne Lancaster's photo has such similar details, even the fingers? Could it be that we are the same husband? I opened Vivienne Lancaster's Moments and found that the men in her photos, either back views or side profiles, have never shown their faces directly. "Vivienne Lancaster, since you say you are your husband's wife, then you should post a full front photo of you guys for everyone to see," I replied in the group. "Haha. What kind of identity does my husband have, that he allows anyone to take pictures casually?" Vivienne Lancaster responded very quickly. "Moreover, what evidence do you have to prove that he's not my husband?" I was about to look through the photo album and send photos with my husband. Personnel Linda sent a message that made me pause. Vivienne said that her husband's last name is Hayes, mysterious and wealthy. Could he be the Hayes who made the list of the wealthy by the age of 30? The sentence was cut off halfway. Vivienne Lancaster immediately responded, "What, MIA Foster? You probably also say your husband's last name is Hayes." I didn't reply. "Stop pretending to be mysterious. Everyone knows Hayes is outstanding. No wonder someone would want to impersonate Hayes's wife." Sister Liu from the finance department starts to flatter. The discussion in the group was lively when Vivienne Lancaster posted another message. "Since Foster wants to see the photos, I'll just post one to prove I'm not lying." I stared intently at my phone screen. Soon, a photo appeared in the group chat. The photo showed a man in a suit from behind, with his arm around Vivienne Lancaster's shoulders. Although his face wasn't visible, his build and outline definitely looked like him. This was taken at the marriage proposal site in the Maldives. My husband hates taking photos the most, so this one was hard one for me to get. The group was filled with amazement. "This build must be Hayes for sure. Vivienne didn't deceive us. No wonder she always drives a limited edition sports car." I put down my phone and walked to the balcony to take a deep breath. This is impossible. He just proposed to me. How could he have gone out to give someone else an engagement ring? But that silhouette. I opened my phone album and flipped to photos taken on the beach. The carefully arranged scene, the moment kneeling on one knee, and his slender fingers. But why Vivienne Lancaster would have the same photo? Why does that silhouette look so similar? MS Foster, do you have anything else to say after seeing the photos? Vivienne Lancaster's voice was filled with a victorious joy. Seeing that I didn't reply, she continued by sending a smiley face. "I know Ms. Foster might have been momentarily confused, but such things are not trivial. If it gets to my husband's ears, I'm afraid you might lose this job as well." I looked at the increasing mockery in the group, and my fingers trembled with anger. But soon I had an idea and sent a message in the group. "Miss Lancaster, since you claim to be Mrs. Hayes, why don't we each invite our own Mr. Hayes and throw a one-of-a-kind wedding?" The group suddenly fell silent for a few seconds, then the chat exploded. Vivienne Lancaster quickly replied, "What do you mean by that? Anyway, we've proposed marriage, haven't we?" I spoke calmly. "You're quite daring to say that." Vivienne Lancaster is obviously being sarcastic. I continued typing. "What, afraid? Haha, who said I was afraid?" Vivienne Lancaster responded very quickly. "But are you sure you want to humiliate yourself like this? As long as you dare, then it's settled. You choose the time and place." After finishing, I directly muted my phone and tossed it onto the bed, no longer paying attention to the thunderous messages in the group chat. Early in the morning when I stepped into the company, the atmosphere was unusually eerie. I walked to the break room, and colleagues were unabashedly whispering, "This is going to be good, Mea Foster, this is asking for trouble, isn't it? Vivienne Lancaster, it's obviously real Hayes, Mrs., isn't it? She's asking for humiliation herself, isn't she?" As she was pouring water, Linda came over. "Mea Foster, are you crazy? Offending Vivienne Lancaster? What's in it for you?" I smiled and said, "What's wrong with that? You." Linda hesitated to speak. "Forget it. You can handle it yourself." I returned to my desk, and the message on my phone still stayed on the interface where my husband apologized. After what happened last night, I undoubtedly took my anger out on him. The confused him could only apologize while moving his bedding to the living room. At noon, Vivienne Lancaster arrived at my place with a group of people. "The wedding is tomorrow, at the Kempinski Hotel." She elegantly straightened her skirt. I raised an eyebrow. "So soon? What? You haven't found your actress yet?" Vivienne Lancaster sneered. I continued typing on the keyboard without looking up. "Let's just go with that." Vivienne Lancaster stood up, hands on my face, her eyes sharp. "At that time, let's see who is the true Hayes wife." I finally looked up, meeting her triumphant gaze. "All right. Then I'll open my eyes wide and take a good look." The wedding preparations at the Kempinski Hotel were in full swing. I stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, watching workers come and go, decorating 2 banqueting halls. Hall A is grand and luxurious, showcasing opulence everywhere. Hall B is simple and elegant, understated yet tasteful. Vivienne Lancaster chose Hall A, while I chose Hall B. Mea Foster, look at Vivienne Lancaster. She spent over $1 million just on floral arrangements. Sister Jong is holding a coffee, with a suggestive look. "You surely can't be unable to afford a wedding planner." I didn't have time to answer. Vivienne Lancaster walked over with a group of people. These roses were airlifted from the Netherlands, costing over $2,000 each. She gracefully turned around, indicating to the wedding planning team behind her. "Yes, Lancaster." The wedding director nodded repeatedly. "No wonder Yuri Hayes's wife. Such a grand display. Incredible." Vivienne Lancaster smiled playfully, walking over in high heels. "Mea Foster, you're exaggerating. It won't end well." I turned around and looked at her. "You don't need to worry about the wedding. Haha. I'm just afraid it will be too shabby then." Making everyone laugh their heads off, Vivienne Lancaster rolled her eyes and sneered, just as everyone was joining in mocking me. A man dressed in a custom suit walked into the hotel lobby. "Excuse me, Mrs. Hayes, are you here?" He was holding a red box with the Cartier logo. Vivienne Lancaster brightened her eyes and hurried forward. "That's me. This is the wedding ring Mr. Hayes asked me to deliver." The man respectfully handed over the box. Vivienne Lancaster took the box, and everyone immediately gathered around. "Oh my, this is the latest Cartier wedding ring. I heard that there are only 50 pairs worldwide. It seems to be a 7-figure amount." Vivienne Lancaster elegantly opened the box, and a sparkling diamond ring caught the eye. Zhong Jie looked enviously. "Vivienne Lancaster, your husband is too indulgent with you." Vivienne Lancaster wore the diamond ring and arrogantly said while flashing her hand in the sunlight, "It's not quite as special as the ring my husband proposed with, but it's still presentable." I leaned against the window, watching her perform. Vivienne Lancaster glared at me, then walked over and said, "Mea Foster, you probably don't have a ring, right? How about I have someone send you a fake one later? At least it won't be too embarrassing at the wedding." "Lancaster miss, are you sure that's the ring for you?" I asked calmly. Vivienne Lancaster raised an eyebrow. "What else? You wouldn't possibly think this is yours, would you?" "Don't make me laugh. This is what my husband knows I like, specially prepared for me." I checked the time, near noon. Another person entered the hotel lobby. This time it was the hotel manager. "Sorry, it seems the ring just now was sent to the wrong person," he said apologetically. Vivienne Lancaster looked stunned. "What do you mean, Mr. Hayes said the family ring should be delivered to Hall B." The audience was in an uproar. "Impossible, this ring is mine," Vivienne Lancaster said excitedly. She immediately took out her phone and dialed a number. "Husband, come to the hotel quickly. Someone's trying to steal my ring," she said with tears. "It's that woman who pretended to be me last time. She said the ring was hers." After hanging up the phone, Vivienne Lancaster looked up and stared at me. Wait and see, my husband will be here soon. Vivienne Lancaster, don't be angry. These kinds of people are just jealous of you. Aunt Jong comforted her. Vivienne Lancaster pretended to be aggrieved as she wiped her tears. I'm just too kind. I didn't want to make a fuss for the sake of a colleague, but she keeps provoking me over and over again. Vivienne, don't be upset. Look at your luxury cars everywhere. You can't be fake, Xiao Li from the administration department said. Yeah, unlike some people, whose monthly salary isn't enough to buy a bag, said the assistant from the HR department. In the hotel lobby, everyone looked at me with strange eyes. I still leaned against the window, watching the traffic and bustling scenes outside. Lancaster looks very anxious, Vivienne Lancaster directly retorted. What do I have to be anxious about? Instead, you, snatching my ring, wait to be sued in court. Time passed second by second, and the hotel lobby gradually became lively. Soon a black Maybach slowly drove into the hotel. Everyone's eyes turned toward the entrance. Vivienne Lancaster also loudly shouted. I knew he would definitely come to back me up. The black Maybach steadily stopped at the hotel entrance. Vivienne Lancaster excitedly rushed out and hugged the man who just got out of the car. Husband, you finally came. The man froze in place, his face turning instantly pale. Well, husband, it's her. Vivienne Lancaster turned around and pointed at me. She's the one trying to grab my ring. And she even claims to be Hayes's wife. The man looked visibly flustered after seeing me, sweat continuously sliding down his forehead. I stood still, watching this farce, unable to help but laugh out loud. What are you laughing at, seeing my husband come? Are you scared? Vivienne Lancaster glared at me. The man finally couldn't hold back. You've mistaken me for someone else. I am, husband, don't be afraid, Vivienne Lancaster interrupted him. I know you've been working on an important project lately and don't want trouble, but if you don't teach this person a lesson, she'll think you're easy to bully. At this moment, the back door of the Maybach slowly opened. Man looked relieved. Hayes. Hayes is the CEO. Vivienne Lancaster froze for a moment and subconsciously loosened her grip. Young Wang, what's going on? A deep male voice sounded. Young Wang wiped the cold sweat. Hayes CEO, I can explain. The people in the car seemed to chuckle softly. Oh, explain why you pretended to be me. The sound of leather shoes stepping on the ground grew closer. Vivienne Lancaster seemed to still be in shock. I watched her facial expression change. And probably guessed who her husband was behind it, just Joseph Hayes's driver. The crowd was stunned as a tall, well-dressed man stepped out of the car, exuding a strong presence. He stood beside the car door, his gaze faintly sweeping over everyone present. Finally, his gaze fell on me. Wife. Have you been waiting long? The entire scene fell into dead silence. Vivienne Lancaster was struck by lightning, stumbling back a few steps. Aunt Jong, Linda, and others' faces instantly turned ghastly white. And I finally moved away from the window I had leaned on all afternoon. Luckily, the show was very brilliant. I smiled and said. Joseph Hayes's gaze flicked towards Xiao Wang, and he immediately spoke. Hayes boss, I'm sorry. I really know I was wrong. Vivienne Lancaster was stunned. Husband. What do you mean by that? I'm not Hayes boss. I'm just Hayes boss's driver. Xiao Wang stammered. Everyone was in an uproar. Oh my god, so Vivienne Lancaster's husband is a fake. Are those luxury cars and villas all fake? Joseph Hayes watched all of this with a cold gaze. Xiao Wang, do you know the consequences of impersonating me? He spoke, his voice icy. Little Wang was trembling. Hayes sir, I really know I was wrong. Not only did you impersonate me, but you also wanted to occupy my wedding venue. You have quite some nerve. Joseph Hayes's voice was angry and he didn't intend to let him go. No, it's not. Xiao Wang looked up and glanced at Vivienne Lancaster. She said she wanted to hold a grand wedding. I really had no choice. Vivienne Lancaster slumped to the ground, trembling as she questioned. So those luxury cars, luxury goods, and high-end restaurants, they're all rented. I've spent my salary on renting those things, Xiao Wang whispered. Zhong Jie and others looked at each other in astonishment. Hayes, please, I beg you to let me go this time. I really know I was wrong. Xiao Wang suddenly crawled toward us. Whatever you want me to do, I will. I am willing to compensate. Joseph Hayes stared at him. Do you think money can solve problems? I don't dare, Xiao Wang kowtowed like pounding garlic. I know impersonating you is a mortal sin, but I truly like Miss Lancaster. Shut up, Vivienne Lancaster screamed. You liar, you have ruined everything of mine. I've offended so many people for you, I've given up so many suitors for you, and now you tell me you're just a driver. Sorry, but I truly care for you. Xiao Wang turned to Vivienne Lancaster. Enough, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it. Vivienne Lancaster covered her ears. Foster miss. Please help me plead for her. Xiao Wang turned again to me. I shouldn't impersonate Hayes Chief, I shouldn't have helped Lancaster miss bully you. I leaned against Joseph Hayes watching this farce. If you truly love each other, I might feel some sympathy for you, I whispered. But what about you? I looked towards Vivienne Lancaster. One is clinging to power, the other is chasing vanity. Are these your true feelings? Vivienne Lancaster slumped on the ground, her makeup a mess. I really thought I had found my soulmate. Hayes Chief, Hayes wife, I am willing to accept any punishment. Please, little Wang was still begging sorrowfully. Joseph Hayes didn't even look at him. The legal department will handle this matter. Vivienne Lancaster and Xiao Wang were taken away by security. Colleagues kept coming to apologize to me. MIA Foster, sorry, we all got Vivienne Lancaster fooled. I looked at their panicked expressions and calmly said, the wedding is cancelled. Miss Jong got anxious. MIA Foster, we truly know we were wrong. It's not because I'm angry, it's just that you don't match the standards of this wedding, I said. Joseph Hayes hugged my shoulders. What's mine by wife is my saying. I nodded and got into the car with him. 1 week later, Hayes Corporation has officially sued a man and a woman for impersonating senior executives, suspected of fraud and defamation. The news caused a stir in the business world. Did you hear? The driver who impersonated Hayes' CEO was sentenced to 3 years. The woman got it even worse. Not only was she dismissed from the company, but she also has to pay Hayes Corporation a compensation of $5 million for defamation. Serves her right. Who told them to go around flaunting the name of Hayes Corporation? I was tidying up my desk when Linda cautiously approached. MIA Foster, Vivienne Lancaster, Linda whispered. I heard she sold her house and borrowed money from relatives just to cover that $5 million in damages. I continued tidying up without saying anything. After her mother found out about this, she was so angry she was hospitalized. Sister Jong also came over to speak. Now Vivienne Lancaster is running back and forth between the hospital and the company every day, and she has become much thinner. What about Xiao Wang? Sister Liu couldn't help but ask. His family took out all their savings, and I heard they even borrowed money at high interest, just to compensate Hayes. Linda sighed. I finally paused my action. Do you think we're too ruthless? No. They did something wrong and should be punished. The others quickly waved their hands. I smiled slightly. If they only pretended, then it's okay, but they used this identity to stir up trouble in the company, flaunt themselves everywhere, and even try to use this identity to suppress me. I looked at the few people. If you don't give these people a lesson, they'll never know what they did wrong. The few people stopped talking, silently continuing with their own tasks, just sitting at the desk. I received a long message. It's Vivienne Lancaster who sent this. I really know I was wrong, thinking I had seized the opportunity, but I didn't expect it to turn out like this. My mother is hospitalized now, I have to pay compensation, and I've lost my job. Can you help me plead? I looked at these messages and remembered how she used to flaunt herself in the company, remembered how she used her fake identity to suppress others, remembered how she was immersed in false glory. Mockingly cold to others. Vivienne Lancaster, your mistake wasn't wanting to marry into a wealthy family. I replied, your mistake was being willing to do anything to achieve it, even trampling over others without a shred of decency. The punishment you're facing now is nothing more than the payback you deserve. The next day, the company held a full staff meeting. In light of recent events, the company has decided to carry out a comprehensive rectification. The general manager looked serious. Everyone tensed up. First, for the employees who undermined and spread rumors during the Vivienne Lancaster incident, appropriate action will be taken. Zhong Jie, Linda and others looked visibly pale. Second, Hayes believes that this incident has exposed serious internal problems within the company's culture. The general manager continued speaking. Flatterers, sycophants, and colleagues who are ostracized, these will all be key targets for discipline. The conference room was silent as a grave. Finally, Hayes has decided to carry out a major overhaul of the company. The general manager surveyed everyone. Employees who are unqualified or have moral issues will be dismissed outright. After the meeting, the office was filled with gloom. It's over, it's over. Why did I follow along and cheer back then? Sister Jong slumped in her chair. Had I known Hayes always Amie Foster was Vivienne Lancaster's husband, I would have never helped her say anything. Linda was filled with regret. Sister Liu was even more anxious, stomping her feet in agitation. We even said in front of Hayes's wife that she wasn't worthy of a wealthy family. Now everything is ruined, and I might lose my job. At this moment, the HR notice was issued. The first batch of layoffs listed the names of Zhong Jie, Linda, and others. Amie Foster. Please, I beg you, help us plead. Zhong Jie rushed in front of me. Yes, we really know we were wrong. Linda also cried and said, I was packing my things. Not lifting my head, haven't you all thought I didn't deserve Hayes' wife position? Now you're pleading with me, not afraid of losing face. We really know we were wrong. If we had known you were Hayes' wife, how could we dare? Sister Liu wiped her tears. I interrupted her. So, your mistake was because you didn't know my identity. If I were really just an ordinary employee, would it be right for you to treat me like this? Several people fell silent. Amie Foster. Sister Jong still wanted to say more. Enough. Joseph Hayes is correct. The company really needs a major overhaul. I stood up. People like you are not suitable to continue staying here. Tonight, Joseph Hayes came to pick me up. I heard that the company was very lively today. I leaned on his shoulder. Everyone is regretting it. He sneered. Regret not knowing your identity and offending you. If I had known earlier that you are Hayes's wife, they would definitely have pampered you like Vivienne Lancaster. I smiled. That's why I need a blood transfusion. This kind of flattery and sycophancy trend definitely needs to be changed. Joseph Hayes hugged me. Don't worry, no one will dare to bully you anymore from now on. I shook my head. It's not because of me. Instead, the company truly needs capable and virtuous people. It's not these, just the kind of people who only see things from their own perspective. Joseph Hayes kissed my forehead with a smile. That's why I love you. You will always know what is most important. Night falls. Joseph Hayes drives me to the seaside. I'm a bit confused. What are we doing here at this time? Do you remember the place where we first met? He suddenly asked. I was stunned for a moment. Looking at the seaside restaurant in front of me, memories flooding in like a tide. 3 years ago, it was here that we first met. At that time, I was just a newly hired designer. Back then, you said you hated people who are vain the most. Joseph Hayes holding my hand, walking on the beach. I smiled. At that time, Joseph Hayes had been hiding from everyone, disguising himself as an ordinary office worker, until I was sure that I genuinely liked him for who he was, not his status or identity. He only then told me his true identity. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but wonder, if Vivienne Lancaster knew the truth, would she regret her original choice? If she hadn't been so eager to cling to power and wealth, perhaps she could have met someone who truly loved her. What are you thinking? Joseph Hayes stopped walking. What if I were just like Vivienne Lancaster? Would you? I leaned on his shoulder. No, he interrupted me. Because you are you, and you would never change for vanity. The sea breeze gently blew past, carrying a salty smell. Suddenly, Joseph Hayes knelt down on one knee. I froze, saying, You are. Last time the proposal was too hasty. This time, I want to start over. He took out a blue velvet box. The box opened, revealing a sparkling diamond ring. This ring is the only one of its kind in the world, just like your position in my heart. Unique, he said with a smile. I looked at the ring, my eyes a little teary, not because the ring is expensive, but because he remembered I once said I hated things that matched exactly. Amie Foster, will you marry me? He looked at me with deep affection. No need to keep it a secret this time. No need to be low-key. I want the whole world to know. You are my wife. I nodded, tears finally falling. I do. He got up and placed the ring on my finger. At that moment, The sea breeze was gentle, and the moonlight was soft. "No one will question your identity anymore," he said as he held me. I shook my head. "I never cared about that. What I care about is that, no matter what happens, you will quietly protect me from behind." He kissed away my tears. "It's my honor." On the way back, I leaned on his shoulder. "Hayes ma'am, have you gotten used to this title?" he said softly. I smiled. "Compared to that, I prefer you call me by my name." He also smiled. "Yes, the title isn't important. What's important is that we're together." Outside the car window, the city's neon lights are flashing. This time, no one will come to snatch my identity again. No one will question my position anymore, because true feelings don't need any proof. Foster Director. "Good morning." "Good morning, Foster Director." I responded with a smile to my colleagues' greetings and walked into the office. Around Hayes, the once bustling office area is now much quieter. Those who always gathered to whisper to each other, those who pointed fingers at me, are no longer here. I looked down at the ring on my ring finger, and a smile unconsciously appeared on the corner of my mouth. "Foster Director, your ring is so beautiful." The new intern, Xiao Zhong, passed by and said, "Thank you." I replied softly, "This ring is indeed beautiful, but its value doesn't lie in the size of the diamond, but in the meaning it represents. This is Joseph Hayes making a promise to me, a unique promise." While tidying up my desk, I accidentally found the bottommost invitation in the drawer. "Foster Director, what is this?" Assistant Xiao Li asked curiously. I forced a smile. "Just an old invitation, no longer useful." That was the invitation to the last farce. Looking back now, it really is ironic. "Do you need me to help you get rid of it?" Xiao Li asked. "No need, I'll do it myself." I gently tore up the invitation and threw it into the trash bin. It's time to plan a real wedding. "Did you hear? Hayes is finally giving his wife a wedding." In the tea room, a few colleagues were discussing. "This time, it's really Hayes's wife." I heard it's unprecedented in scale, and it's caused a stir in the whole business community. I held my coffee cup quietly, listening. My heart was unusually calm. "Foster Director, can I attend the wedding?" A colleague saw me and asked somewhat awkwardly. I smiled and said, "Of course." The office atmosphere now is completely different from before. There's no deliberate flattery, no sneaky sarcasm, only the most genuine work atmosphere, perhaps. This is what a workplace should be like. At noon, I announced the wedding in the conference room. "For this wedding, I hope to invite everyone who sincerely wishes us well." I looked around at the colleagues present. "Foster, Director, we will definitely go," the colleagues said in unison. After work, I received many blessings from my colleagues. No flattering compliments, no deliberate flattery, only the simplest wishes. This reminds me of the previous farce, those false compliments, those snobbish faces. "Foster Director, what are you thinking?" Xiao Li asked. I came to my senses. "It's nothing, I just think it's really good like this." Walking out of the company gate, Joseph Hayes's car was already waiting there. "How was your day?" he asked. I leaned on his shoulder and whispered, "Very good. Better than ever before, because I no longer have to pretend to be someone else." I shook my head, because I can finally be my true self, no longer need to hide modestly. Watching others' expressions, this feeling is truly wonderful. "What do you want to do about the wedding?" he asked. I thought for a moment. It doesn't have to be too extravagant, but it must be sincere. I want everyone to know that true love doesn't need luxury to prove it. And real happiness isn't built on vanity. On the way home, I looked at the night scenery outside the window. The past storms have passed, and those false noises have also faded away. What remains is the most genuine happiness. No need to prove anything to anyone, no need to disguise with any identity. Because I know, the person standing beside me loves the real me the most, and this is my greatest happiness. The wedding will come eventually. But our story is just beginning. This time, no one will challenge my position again, because true love is never afraid of any challenge, and those who try to embellish their lives with facades will eventually understand, true happiness belongs only to those who dare to be their authentic selves. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. So feel free to share your opinions. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. We'll see you in the next video.